Hi guys, welcome to this video. In this video, we'll be discussing about the recursion basics. Recursion is basically a technique. Recursion is basically a technique where a function calls itself. Now, where a function calls itself. Now, it feels very overwhelming how a function could call itself, right? So, let us see. Like, for example, first of all, we should know why the function calls itself. Okay, so let's say you are given a bigger problem. Let's say you have to calculate factorial of 5. Then what you do, you know that 5 factorial can be expressed as 5 into 4 factorial, right? Similarly, 4 factorial can be expressed as 4 into 3 factorial, and 3 factorial is expressed as 3 into 2 factorial, and further 2 factorial is expressed as 2 into 1 factorial, right? And we know the value of 1 factorial, which is 1. So as you can see, like when a function call is made, the input is getting smaller step by step. Okay, so that's why, let's say if you want to do a function, like if you want a function to do some work, so what it does, it calls on the sub problem by reducing the input. Like 5 is reduced to 4, then 4 is reduced to 3, then 3 is reduced to 2, and 2 is reduced to 1 finally. Okay, so in this way the function calls itself and the input gets smaller every time. Now there is a case like when we need to stop calling, right? So that case is known as base case. Like for a bigger problem, you know the answer for the smaller problem, right? So if you do all these problems step by step, you can reach to the bigger problem. Same happens in recursion. So when you call for the sub problem, it will again call for its sub problem, and once a time will come when you need to make this recursion call to stop. Okay, otherwise what you will get, like one fact, if you don't stop this recursion call, 1 factorial will call on 0 factorial, 0 factorial will call on minus 1 factorial, and this will go on, and you at last you will reach a moment where there will be no further recursion calls. Why? Because of the segmentation fault, which is a runtime error, right? So you need to stop at one case, which is known as the base case. So I hope that is getting clear. So now the in the recursion, the function calls itself on a smaller input. Okay, so smaller input kya, like smaller input will be solved, then it will calculate and it will get multiplied by 5, and this will return it the answer to 5 factorial. Okay, so let's see how this works. So 5 factorial, let's say we call 5 factorial from main. Okay, so 5 factorial is called from main. So there is a call stack which executes the function step by step. So first of all, the call stack will execute main. As we know, the main is the first function which is evaluated when our program starts. Then in main we call for factorial 5. So factorial 5 will go in the call stack. Then factorial 5 will call on 4 factorial, right? So factorial 4 will be evaluated. Then factorial 4 will call on factorial 3, then factorial 3 will call on factorial 2, then factorial 2 will call on factorial 1. Now it's the time we need to stop, right? Because we know factorial 1 is nothing but 1. Okay, so it will return this. Now factorial 2 is what? 2 factorial can be expressed as 2 into 1 factorial, right? So we know the value of 1 factorial, which is nothing but 1. Now this will return 2 into 1 factorial, so factorial 2 will return 2. Similarly, factorial 3 is nothing but 3 into 2 factorial, so we know the value of 2 factorial to be 2, and this will return 3 into 2 factorial, this will return 6. Similarly, factorial 4 will return 24, and factorial 5 will return 122 main. Okay, and now in this way our call stack gets executed. Once the function call for a factorial 1 is over, it is popped out of the call stack. Similarly, factorial 2 will get popped out, factorial 3, factorial 4, factorial 5, and finally when all the function will be executed, main will be out of the call stack and our call stack will become empty, and we will get our output as factorial 5 is equal to 120. So in this way recursion works. So I hope what is recursion and the logic behind recursion is clear. Now if you want to write code for factorial 5, let's see how we can write. So let's say the factorial will return an integer, so its return type is int. Let's say it accepts one input for the number for which we need to calculate the factorial. So there are basically two cases, one is the recursive case and one is the base case. Okay, so base case is written first and then the recursive case. So first of all, think about the recursive case in this example. For example, uh, if you need to calculate factorial of n, so what you do, it is nothing but n into factorial of n minus 1. So we can simply say in recursive case return n into factorial of n minus 1, right? And in the base case what we can do, we can check if n equal to 1, we need to do nothing but we can return 1. So in this way our factorial function gets written. Okay, and here you can observe it is a factorial function. Now it calls itself on a smaller set of input, which is n minus 1. Initially it was n, right? In the next call it will go to n minus 2 and so on up to n. So I hope how the recursion works is clear. And if we talk about the time complexity for this, the time complexity for this will be order of n, because at max you are calling on a input once, right? So for n inputs it will be called once for every input, so n time total. And the overall space will be like, see, in recursion there is extra space which is known as auxiliary space, okay, which is required apart from the static space of the program. So here auxiliary space required will be order of n. Why? Because at max the call stack will contain all the recursion, all the function calls. Okay, so that's why auxiliary space required is order of n, and the static space required for this problem is order of 1 only. Okay, so overall we can say the space complexity for this is order of n. So I hope factorial is clear, and thanks for watching. Okay.